All right. So the recording is started, and yesterday what we learned is like SDLC. Majorly, we have learned SDLC, all the things which we had in software development life cycle. Let me share my screen as well. Is it visible? Can anyone tell me who do the designing of the softwares?
Architect.
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 Yep. And okay, so there are different SDLC models. Okay, now we all understand what is SDLC is. If anyone asks what is SDLC, we just have to remember these steps. Hey Olga, how are you? I think your camera is on. You can switch off your camera. That's okay. So yesterday we just learned SDLC, software development lifecycle, and today we are going to learn how many types of models we have in SDLC. SDLC basically software development lifecycle. Okay. So the first model is where's my pen? Is waterfall model. This one. So initially, okay, let me explain about this waterfall model. What used to happen initially when the software industry was establishing? So this was the first method how the people used to do and develop the softwares. So they used to do each and everything in steps. Okay, so first they used to do requirement analysis, and they don't start any work till the time the first initial step is complete. Okay, so like we have, yeah, so like we have first thing is our requirement analysis. In first thing is analysis. So in waterfall model, all the things are done in steps. First we will do requirement analysis, and we will not start any other task till the time this task is completely done. Okay, then we used to do design. Then the second thing we used to do after design is implementation. And what is the second thing we say about implementation?
Coding.
Good, yes. Implementation. Okay, and then after the next step is our testing, then maintenance. So it used to be like a cycle. Okay, so they used to start from here and used to end from here. So till in between all these things, like if we are developing any software. Okay, so from the requirement analysis, then design, then coding, like implementation and testing, till the deployment, it used to take like sometimes 3 to 4 months if the software is small, and if the software is of a very big size, then it used to take like 1 to 2 years to complete the complete cycle. So the best example for waterfall model is Windows. Right now they are also working on agile model, but earlier what used to happen is a new version update used to come after a year or maybe year and a half, that much time, right? So they do not include anything. Once they have done their requirement analysis, you cannot change anything in your requirement. You cannot do any change in the design. You cannot change like the coding. If there is any defect or anything, then that can be fixed or something. But if the coding is completely done, only the defect will be fixed. no new code will be written. So this used to be a waterfall model. So what happened, it used to take a lot of time. After each and every cycle used to take like a 3 to 4 months and 4 to 5 months in some cases, most of the times. Like Android, like if you talk about Android, the Android update used to come like after 1 to 2 years, right? Android 11, then Android 12, or if we talk about iOS, then iOS version update as well. It takes a lot of time. So they used to work on waterfall model. They do not do any changes or anything. But what happened, since it was taking a lot of time, they started using V model. And V model works on two major things. Okay, one is verification, and the second thing is validation.
Jose, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we don't
definitely.
use waterfall model uh,
Anymore.
now.
No, we do not use, like, even the industries who were using waterfall model, it was an old model which was used in the industry, but 98% of the industry came to agile now. Agile model. So we are going to learn about this model, agile. So this is very important. Okay. So uh, even if you see in Windows, there are regular security patches and regular updates, window updates, right? So
Yes.
the version takes time, but nowadays the updates are regular. Like within a month you will get an update, a security patch or something. Even in Android as well, you get a security patch and updates. So they all started working on agile now.
Yeah, we can see like updates on mobile
Yes,
every month now.
every month now. So if they, initially it was not the case. Initially, once they start doing the development and each and everything, they have to complete the cycle. Only after that they switch to next version of it. So let's suppose they are working on version, so in waterfall model, let's suppose they are working on version 1.0, version 1. Okay, let's call it version 1. Okay, and they are going to do all the requirement analysis, design, implementation, testing, all the things in version 1. Once this is complete, totally complete, then only they will switch to version 2. Okay, it was a scenario what used to happen in waterfall model. But nowadays what happens, you might see in the industry, you have version 1, and then you get an update, version 1.1, then 1.2, 1.3, and after sometimes after 3 to 4 months or a year, you get a version 2. So this is an example of this iterative model. I will explain this very thoroughly as well. But let's discuss first V model. What is V model? So V model is basically works on two things. One is verification and one is validation. So in interviews, this is not asked that much, but if anyone will ask V model, it will, you have to answer just these two things. Okay, verification and validation. So what verification is? So whenever you are doing a requirement analysis, you do it on papers. So all the verification things we do it on the paper, and all the validation things we do it practically. So I will give it an example. Let's suppose we have this website as amazon.com. Okay, and we have to develop, let's take an example of electronics. Right now we don't have this electronics in our Amazon website, and we have to create this electronics feature in our website. So we have to do a certain documentation and all those things. We will create requirement analysis, we will do SRS document, software requirement and specification, all the things we will mention, what all things which we are going to include in that electronics. So all the things which are done on paper is known as verification. And once it is developed, now right now if you will see, this electronics is developed and all the features are there. So we are going to test what we have mentioned on paper, whether it is there on actual website or not. That is validation. So basically what we are doing, we are validating it, whatever we tried to do, whether we have achieved it or not. So let me try to explain this with an example. Okay, so this is a example. Let's suppose we are doing this requirement analysis. Okay, we have done this requirement analysis. So with the requirement analysis, the tester, what tester will do, tester will start writing his acceptance testing test cases. Okay, what is acceptance testing? That client will tell that let's suppose this is a feature of cameras. Okay, so what all cameras we want to be appearing on the first page. So that is our acceptance test. So that our client usually, you understand client, right? So whoever is developing it, let's suppose Amazon is a product based company, but it can be a service based company as well. Okay, now we will start the system design. Who will do the system design? Okay, we have discussed about system. Anyone knows what is system? A complete software. So even in our, if we talk about desktops, okay, so in desktops as well, we call it complete system when we have monitor, when we have CPU, when we have keyboard, mouse, all the things attached with it. Okay, then only we call it a system, right? So exactly in software as well, we have front end and back end, we have database. Okay, so when all these things are attached and combined, then it becomes a complete system. Okay, then it becomes, so we are going to learn this in what is system testing is, when we are testing it completely from front end to back end to database. Okay, now what is architecture and who does this, who designed this? Architect. Architect design the complete system, and this is system architect. Okay, now what is architectural design? Architectural design is basically whenever we create a software is not created in we are creating the complete application in one go. It is created into multiple modules. Let me erase that. Okay, so it is created in multiple modules. Module 1. If you get confused anyone anywhere, do let me know. Okay, module 2, module 3, module 4, and module 5. So what can be these modules? Let's suppose, let's take a real life example. Okay, so we have this complete list. So Amazon Music can be module 1. Okay, electronics can be module 2, computers can be module 3, gift cards can be module 4. So all of these softwares, these modules will be designed and developed separately. Okay, a different developer is going to work on a different thing, and a different developer is going to work on a different thing. So these are all modules. Now these modules are attached together. These modules are attached together. When they are attached together, they complete a complete system. Okay. And if we talk about module 1, so how the module 1 is going to behave and what all functionalities module 1 is going to have. What can be a module 1? Amazon Music. So Amazon Music is a functionality, right? So what all things we are going to include in Amazon Music? So unlimited free streaming, podcast, play music, open web player, download the app. So these are all the menus of functionalities of it. Okay. So this is known as architectural design of particular module. Okay. Now comes two important things. Okay. I will let you know about those two documents as well. One is HLD, one is LLD. What is HLD? This is high level design document. This is low level design document. So what is HLD? HLD is basically a document wherein you have a flowchart. Anyone has any doubt about flowchart? What is a flowchart? So let me show it to you. Okay, give me. So if you see this one, okay, so this is a complete flowchart. So your complete web application, your modules, all the modules are designed on a paper. Okay, your complete system, your complete software is first designed on a paper, and that same thing we call it algorithms. Okay. Anyone ask what is an algorithm? When your complete software is designed on a paper, before doing the coding, before doing the implementation, we design the complete software, like how we are going to achieve things. So if you see here on a flow chart, it is designed that it is going to be here. Okay. So we are going to have multiple choice question, yes no question, number question, short term question, and this is the complete design of a system. So this is how HLD looks like. So this is a very simple software, but if we talk about complex, something complex, it comes up like this. Okay. And usually you are never going to see like create the HLD, because every time you will be hired, you will never be hired on a fresh project, you will be hired on a working project. It is very rare that you are hired for a project which is starting from scratch. Usually that doesn't happen. Okay. So but you can definitely ask this document when you get hired in a company. You can ask them, can you show us show your high level design document, HLD. So what HLD document is, it shows how the complete system design is. Okay, which module is attaching to which module is interacting with which module. Okay, this is what HLD looks like. This is how the inflow charts basically. You can see there are multiple examples, and it is always in flowchart. Okay, even if you talk about bigger companies, even the top brands like Amazon, Flipkart, or Facebook or Instagram, their design is also their high level design will also look like this only. Okay, because first we have to design the application, complete application on a paper, then only we can do the coding. Now what is LLD, low level design document? So low level design document basically explains Like let's suppose we have this module 1. So what is the feature of module 1? Like let's suppose we have this login functionality. uh, we have this login functionality. Okay, so how many features we are going to have in our login functionality? Are we going to have this forgot password button? Are we going to have this enter password written over here? Which color should be the login button look like? What is the complete infrastructure of this page? All the feature things, the complete details of a particular feature is low level design. Any doubt about this?
Not much.
So this is clear, right, for everyone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. How about you, Olga? Are you able to comprehend it?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So this is what low-level design documents looks do basically. Okay. Yeah. So architectural design, this system design is HLD. Okay. This system design is HLD, high level design, where we are designing the complete system. And this architectural design is LLD, low level design, where we are explaining the features. And this is the module design. In module we can have, let's suppose we have this forgot password button. Where is this? Let's suppose we have this forgot password button. So very smaller module. Okay, very smaller module. This is a functionality which can be explained in module design. And now we will do coding, and then we will do unit testing. I will tell you what unit testing is. Okay, let me explain one more thing. So all these modules are separate right now, right? Module 1, module 2. This, all these modules are separate: module 1, module 2, module 3, module 4, module 5. So once we attach all these modules together, we call it integration. Just give me 1 minute. Okay. Yep, sorry. So we call it integration. Integration means attaching two things. It can be API, it can be a module, and this is what integration is. When two modules are interconnected with each other, we connect two things. Okay, let's suppose module 1 we have a shopping website. Okay, I will give you an example of integration. So let's suppose we have a shopping website like amazon.com. Okay, but we are doing the payment from our bank cards, right? From our credit cards or debit cards. So how exactly do the Amazon know which bank card do you have, right? So these, they have created an API. We have this, this is a very vast topic. We are going to give like 7 to 8 days almost on it, on API only. So what bank do is, bank create partial of code, you can say a module, and we call this API. And that API will be given to Amazon. Okay, and this interconnection is known as integration. And this is what API testing is. API is, okay, this integration. And when we test these two modules connection, and we call it integration or API testing. Okay, don't be confused till now. We are going to cover a lot in this. Okay, so what is unit testing? We are going to learn unit testing as well. So whenever a developer writes a code, he tests his codes himself as well, whether his code is working properly or not. So once the developer is testing their code only, then we call it unit testing. And unit testing, always remember, unit testing is done by only developer. Unit testing is done by developer only. Okay, be it a front end developer or be it a back end developer, it doesn't matter. Their unit test will be done by developer only this type of testing is majorly done by developers. Okay, now after that, integration testing, system testing, acceptance testing, all these things will be done by testers, and we call them quality analyst. Okay, quality analyst. So this is how the V model looks like. The requirement analysis will start, and at the same point of time, they are going to design their acceptance testing cases. The system testing design. This is what majorly V model. Any doubt in this?
No.
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 Okay. So let's come to iterative model. So how iterative model behaves. So we were talking about this versioning, right? So let's suppose we have version 1.1. Okay, version 1, we call it version 1. Okay, and let's suppose there is an update we have to do. So there will be multiple teams working in on it. Okay, team 1, team 2, and team 3. Now they are developing any software, be it anything like school management or e-commerce or CRM or any software. Okay, or a shopping website, we call it e-commerce only, or any software. Okay, so let's suppose they have started their thing. After in between, let's suppose they are doing the coding. Okay, their requirement analysis is done. First they have done their requirement analysis. Okay, requirement analysis. After that, they have done their design as well, and after that, they have started coding. Okay, so now what happens, the client comes and client says, I want one more feature to be added. So what they will do is they will not stop their task from here. Okay, they will keep on going. Then another team will start the task from here only. Okay, they will do the requirement analysis. At the same time, they will do the design, and they will do the coding. Now that this is testing. Let me give me one more. Okay, so now can you see, once their version 1, this is version 1, we call it version 1. Okay, so once version 1 is completely done and deployed, so at the same point of time, this version will be half complete, and it will be coming to coding, and we will call it version 1.1. Okay, so this is how iterative model works. Even if you will see the screenshot, so the PPT, the requirement is started, the design is done, the testing is done, implementation, and a review, and at the same point of time the iteration 2 is started. So this is version 1, this is version 1.1,
So
or
basically, we can say it's like modifying the existing version, right?
mod
Without go-
yes
without
mod
going on to the next version,
without
we are
going on, we are just
implementing or
modifying.
just modifying as
Exactly.
per the client's needs.
Exactly, exactly. So this is what iterative model looks like. This is how the iteration model is, and there is not much difference between agile methodology. Agile is just a working way, and this is what is happening in the complete market. Okay, they are saving their time. They are doing the versioning of it. They are releasing multiple versions, version 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, any version, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, any version. Okay, this is how the iterative model looks like. uh okay, the spiral model and big bang model. So let's talk about big bang model is. Okay, so no one is going to ask you questions about these things, but this is very important thing, because at certain point of time, if someone uses the term do you know big bang model, you should know it. Okay, it is not going to take much time, like 10 minutes you will understand it. So how basically big bang models works, they always work on very smaller projects. Let's suppose they I am a very smaller company, very not a big company, very small company, and I'm just doing the website creation. Okay, for different it can be anything like tour and travels. Okay, not big websites like Make My Trip, not as big websites as this, but a very smaller website. So what will happen, they will do all their time, resource and effort all together, and they will work together on that project, on that website, and they will create in 3 to 5 days, and they will release the product. It is big bang model is basically used for very smaller websites. Okay, always remember, when all the teams work together, they will do the testing on the same day. They will do the coding. Usually they have templates, but if they are not using the template, they are writing the code, then it will take like 10-15 days, but they will do all the things together, and they will release the product as soon as possible, and there will be no versioning on it. There will be nothing else, just a update on it. You can do an update later on, but it will be released into maximum 10 days, 10 to 15 days. Okay, this is how the big bang model looks like. Now what is a spiral model? A spiral model is basically, we create a prototype. Everyone knows what is a prototype.
No.
Blueprint.
Exactly. So they will create a blueprint of any software. Like let's suppose they will create this web page. Okay, this login web page, and this functionality will not be working. Okay, now if you will click here, if you will enter mobile number, or you will enter password, or you will enter login, this functionality will not work. But they will create the design, the blueprint of it, like how exactly it is going to look. Okay, so they're going to design that, and they're going to show it to client, like do the prototype and show it to the client, that this is how your application is going to look. Once the client approves it, they will start their coding. And then client there is one more thing in this model, spiral model, that is customer valuation. They ask reviews from their customer as well. Let's suppose I will explain this how it works exactly in a real time example. So a spiral model basically works. Let's suppose I took an example of that project management tool, right? So I am a civil construction company, okay, and I want a website to be created according to me, like where all my construction sites are working and all those things, okay. So they are going to develop a prototype of it, and they are going to show it to client, that this is how your tool is going to look like, okay. The client approves, they will start their coding on it. Once they will start their coding, they will show it, and they will take the evaluation from their customer, like the users, their employees, like what all things we can have. Can we have attendance into it? Can we log our timing into it? Do we uh, can we have salaries information and all those information? Like in each and every company there is a project management tool, right? Exactly like that. So they enhance it with the customer, and they enhance it, then they do another different prototype, then they do the coding and testing, then they take another evaluation. So it basically is parallel model works on customer evaluation, how the customer wants the tool to be evolved. Exactly. So this is also, this spiral model is also not used in very big websites or web application. It is you generally for a bigger application than big bang model, okay. Any doubt till now in this?
Hussein, can we add different functionality during the build
In which model?
in the same model, spiral model?
Yeah, we can add the functionalities. So the customer evaluation is the functionality update basically.
Okay,
So
understood.
customer is saying that we can improve our web application into this way. Let's suppose they have salary bracket, okay. So they right now you can just see the salary on their tool, but they want it to be downloadable as well, right? Their salary slips, okay.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
it will be a new functionality. They will do the requirement gathering, they will create a prototype, then do the coding and testing, then they will send it for evaluation. So functionality update is the customer evaluation. Yeah. Any doubts in this? So right now I could have started agile, but agile is a very vast okay, let me start a different topic, okay. That is software testing lifecycle. So just like software development life cycle, exactly like that, we have software testing life cycle as well. Okay. So Archana, I think you have studied it. Do you remember like what all
Yeah.
things we have? Okay, that is great then. Okay.
So it's similar like development life cycle. We start with requirement analysis, then we do test planning, basically on paper first, and then we design, like we do test design, right? And then we set up the environment, and then test execution, and this last test closure.
And we execution, and then sixth is test closure.
Test closure.
Okay. So anytime we are going to test any application, okay, so be it any application, we need some requirement documents, right? What exactly we are testing, okay. It can be a shopping website, it can be a tour and travel website, it can be this is our shopping website. So and it can be tour and travel website, it can be a banking website as well. So we have to like check all the requirements, set of requirements, so the test design and all these things will be separate, right? For e-commerce we have to test it separately in a context of it, and for tour and travel we have to do in a different context. So this is one of the principle as well. And once we will study the testing principles, you will study this, that testing is context dependent. Okay, so we are going to do the requirement analysis, what all things we require to test the application. Okay, so then we are going to start our test planning. So this is also a very vast topic. And test plan, usually the QA managers sit together with the client and they start creating the test plan. But yes, at times you have to create, once you will be experienced for 5 to 6 years, at that point of time you have to create the test plan. But in interviews, you there is a possibility that it can be asked that what is test plan and how exactly do you know test plan. Okay, so this is a vast topic, we are going to cover it tomorrow. So we are right now, let me just give the overview of it. Okay, so test plan is basically we are going to plan each and everything, like how we are going to test the application, in what ways we are going to test the application, how many testers do we need to test this kind of application, what kind of hardware do we need, what kind of software requirements do we have for our test plan. These are all the things which we have in our test plan. Okay, so this is an important topic, we are going to cover it tomorrow. Okay. Then after that we are going to design the test cases. So test cases design is basically how do we write test case. Let me start with a very simple example. So let's suppose we have this login functionality. Okay, this is a feature. So what all test cases can we have? Okay, now Archana, you give me one example, after that we will ask from others as well.
Could you please repeat your question, Hussein,
So
once again?
what can be the test scenarios for this login application?
Okay, username and password, like the same one, na? That what should be
Yes, yes.
contained in the username?
So the first example can be, so what all things can we test in this page. This is a very small page and
Hmm.
very little functionality in it, but what can we test? So let's suppose for example the mobile
Login
number
credentials.
is of 10 digits. Okay, so are we able to enter more than 10 digits, or we it stuck at 10? So let's check that. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 0. So these are 10 digits, so we are able to enter 10 digits. Now we are going to do, are we able to enter more than 10 digits? So yes, we are able to see. So this can be a functionality check basically. So now we are going to ask our client, yesterday we were talking about business analyst, right? So we are going to ask our client basically, so is this a functionality or is this an error? Like, is it expected, can we enter more than 10 values, or it is just stick to 10 values? Exactly like that. In forgot password, let's suppose we are entering any password. So at times you see there is an I button wherein you can see your password, right? So right now this is not available, so we are going to ask again from our business analyst, is this a functionality issue or this is how it behaves? So this is how we do testing, we write test cases. Okay, so we will do the designing. If we talk about test design, so this is how we are going to write it. So we are going to cover it as well. Now test environment is also a very big topic. Test execution. So test execution is basically when we are doing the testing on the product. Okay, how we do it, how exactly we do it, we are going to cover each and everything right now. Just understand, once we do the testing, like doing the check over here practically, so this is, you can call it validation as well. What have you written on your test case sheet, you are validating it on the application. And test closure is basically when you are done with the testing and you see there are no defects found, then it is test closure. Okay, so these are very vast topics. Okay, our complete job role is dependent on all these things, all these, this test plan, test design, test execution, test environment. Our complete job role is on these things. Okay, all these things. So we are going to cover in all of them in like very explained way, I would say. And tomorrow we are going to cover test plan. Till now, does anyone have any doubt, like in this, in all the models, like what all models we have: V model, waterfall model, iterative model, spiral model, big bang model? No one?
No.
All right. So let's end the today's session here, and tomorrow onwards we will be continuing in along all these things, these STLC things. Okay, wherein we will see how the test cases are designed, and how do we write the test cases and all those things. Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right then. Thank you everyone. I will upload the video if anyone want to see the video. Yeah, Praveen, you have any doubt?
No, sir. No, thank you.
All right. Hey, don't call me sir.
Okay.
Okay, call me Sam.
Sorry, sorry.
That's fine.
Yes.
All
Thank
right.
you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye bye,
Thank you
good night.
everyone. Yeah. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.